This is the emergency broadcast system. The CDC is advising that you stay in your home.
We show up.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Carbon, and today we are talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I have some tips and tricks for you today. Some of these tips and tricks you probably already know, some of you probably don't. They're kind of interesting, some are kind of not, but I hope that these are some things you probably didn't know about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, some things to help you out and, keep you entertained with my vids. I have 8, that's right, 8 tips, tricks, and secrets to bring to you about Modern Warfare, about things you probably didn't know. And the first thing I want to talk about is the throwing knife. But why would I want to talk about the throwing knife? Not everyone is good with the throwing knife. It's besides the point. Some of you guys are rushers. Some of you guys like to run around the map. Some of you guys like to go full throttle. And sometimes you run into another player. You guys can basically high-five each other, give each other a kiss on the cheek, and you go to melee them with your weapon. You gotta hit them twice. Sometimes that's not enough, and you're dead before you can get the second one off. Well, the first tip I have for you is that if you have a throwing knife in your inventory, and without even throwing it, and you run up to the enemy and you try to melee them with your gun, like let's say you have your gun selected, it's out, you have your M4, and you go to melee that person, you will end up using a knife instead of the butt of your gun, resulting in a faster kill. Now, this could come in handy for some of y'all out there that don't really care too much about your throwables, but would really like to have that necessity of using a knife as your melee, kind of like you did way back when in Modern Warfare series in the past. It was so much fun. And speaking of the past Modern Warfare, like let's say Modern Warfare 2, for example, did you know in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you can go into the audio settings and you can change the hit marker sound to sound like classic Modern Warfare 2, that classic Modern Warfare 2 hit marker throwback. So if you're still somebody who likes the nostalgia of the old Modern Warfare series, or you're old enough to play it, this might be a setting for you. The next little tip I want to talk about here, some of you have probably already caught it, and I know I caught it in the beta, but let's say you're playing a game, you are getting absolutely murked by somebody on the enemy team. They are destroying you and your teammates over and over and over again, and it's probably the shotgun class, and you're like, why doesn't my class do this? Well, in the kill cam, once you die from that player, you can actually press triangle and copy their exact class for your next life to use it against them. You can see what kind of attachments they have, everything from their perks. You can learn so much from other players just by copying their class and seeing something different that you normally don't use. That could be helpful to you in the future. But do remember, once you copy the enemy's class, you can only use it for that next available life, just giving you enough time to use it against the enemy, the guy killing you, and to see what kind of attachments they are running with. The next tip I want to talk about here is, I'm pretty sure is one that I've already talked about in the past, but I'm going to bring it up as there's a lot of people that didn't see it. Now, if you didn't already know, you cannot see through smoke with a thermal scope. It is nothing like Black Ops 4. A lot of people are starting to unlock their thermal scopes with different guns, and they're trying to use the same strategy as they did in Black Ops 4. They want to be able to throw a smoke and see through that smoke. Well, you can't do that in Modern Warfare. And why can't you see through smoke? Because they're trying to tackle the realism part of Modern Warfare. Therefore, you cannot see through smoke with a thermal. So those of you that really want to try the smoke thermal strategy, it ain't working. You're gonna have to keep your camping efforts a little bit harder. But one tip you can use, and I do find this to be rather helpful in certain game modes, is that you guys have a field upgrade. You guys have your dead silence, your ammo, your tactical insertion. You have your normal field upgrades. But did you know that you can have 2 field upgrades? You can have it to where you can select 2 field upgrades, and once your bar is completely full, you'll be able to choose which one of those field upgrades you want to use. Let's say you want to use dead silence because you need to sneak up on a bomb or an enemy, or you need to have ammo because you're running out of ammo. These could be 2 really useful things to have, dead silence and ammo. Now, some of you are playing ground war. I would recommend using ammo and tactical insertion if you're a sniper, and so forth. If you're so many different kinds of players in this game, having 2 field upgrades can really change the way you play. The next tip I want to talk about here was actually covered during the trailer for Modern Warfare. It was slightly inserted within the trailer and it wasn't much talked about after that, but you can actually use your sidearm while on a ladder. Let's say you are climbing up a ladder and you have a feeling that somebody is just at the top of that aiming down on you or waiting for you to come up. You can actually have your pistol ready for them to look down at you and you can take them the fuck out. It's amazing. Now, this only works with the sidearm. Obviously, you can't shoot your assault rifle, but when you are climbing a ladder, you'll be able to take an arm off the ladder, pull out your pistol, and take out some motherfucking enemies. And finally, the last tip I want to talk about comes to my love with Search and Destroy. The fact that I just keep on playing it, but there's a part in Search and Destroy that I just can't seem to get used to, and I find it to be a great tip. Let's say you are the bomb carrier in Search and Destroy and you want to plant the bomb. Let's say you're planting the bomb, you get it almost all the way planted, and someone kills you. Well, the next person to go plant that bomb will be able to plant at the exact point you left off. Let's say you had a quarter of a second to go, it's only going to take your teammate a quarter of a second to plant. Or if you're planting the bomb and you realize an enemy is coming, you can quickly stop planting the bomb, take out the enemy, and go back to planting at the exact point you left it. I feel like this is a great tip. I've been playing Search nonstop, and this is something I can't seem to have sink into my head that this happens. As soon as I start planting, I am committed. I want to get this plant off just in case, but turns out I don't need to do that if I still need to fight my way through the plant. I find this to be a fabulous tip, and I do want to thank the community over there on Reddit for sharing such interesting tips. Guys, if you have interesting tips to leave down below you think nobody else knows about, please leave them in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a subscribe, hit that notification button so you can stay up to date, and leave a comment. Let me know what I did wrong. You guys always do. It's your boy Carbon. Peace.